Let's get this baby rolling, shall we? How are you? Hi, welcome. My name is Rusty Humphries. This is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion for as long as it'll last tonight. We're having rolling blackouts here in the Phoenix area, so at any moment, it could just shut down. So, do me a favor, if you can hear me, turn up the volume, turn up the volume, turn up the volume, dance. While you're here, would you check in, please? Let me know who you are and where you are a deplorable from. We want to say hi to as many folks as we can as we're getting going here today. It is Victims on Parade Day. Oh, my goodness. Some of the stories. Oh, good. Somebody else is on during my time here in a different thing. That's okay. There we are. Are we there? Do you see me? There we go. Okay. I look frozen. All right, we're going to get started here. Check in if you would, please. Let me know who you are, where you're deplorable from. Patsy is there. Joy is there. She says she's my favorite Democrat from Pennsylvania. How you doing? I don't hate Democrats. I don't think they're right, but that's okay. I'd like to have them as friends. Will you be my neighbor? All right, that's just so. Beverly is there from Southern Illinois. Pamela is a proud Tucson deplorable. Blake is checking in. Felita says, you got to be kidding. Jonas is there. Lindell is there. Yes, Rusty, you should sue your parents. Joy is a respectful Democrat. Thank you, Tamara. Good. Nothing wrong with hate. Respectful Democrats are good. Why is Lindell, Lenny, we'll call him, why does Lenny think I should sue my parents? Well, there's a story out today, and I'm doing stories about liberals on parade today because it's just, they're out of their stinking minds today. You think liberals will go, okay, they can't go any further. And then they do something else stupid. So there's a woman, and she is out of, I don't know where she's out of, and I don't really care. Anyway, her story is a simple one. Dateline, Hollywood, California. A California woman suing her own parents for $2 million because she's ugly. Now, we'll be honest, that's not the best looking woman I've ever seen. But do you get to sue your parents? Let's look at the story. Maybe you might agree with her. Let's get back to the story, see what it says here. Annabelle Jefferson's 44 years old, and she believes her parents are fully responsible for her unpleasant physical features, which have led her to 3 divorces and a succession of depressions and psychological troubles. Well, if she's been married 3 times, it can't be that bad. I mean, 3 times, she snagged 3 guys that we know of. Well, and Josh says she's not that ugly, she's overweight. Well, that's part of it. I'm going, okay, honey, get some contacts, cut your hair, maybe brush your teeth once or twice and go on a little bit of a diet. You're not the ugliest woman I've ever seen in the world. Linda's from Las Vegas. Blake says he's ugly, he should sue. Timothy says, wow, that's kind of shameful. Joyce says she needs some self-esteem. Jonas says people have no choice in the genetic dice roll. Well, she says she does have a choice because her parents should never have been able to have babies, she's saying. She's saying, this is her words, both of my parents are so damn ugly, it's simply cruel for them to have had kids. There is no way they should have been allowed to reproduce themselves. There should be government programs to sterilize ugly people or at least make it impossible for them to have kids. Wow. She's had a series of divorces. She blames her parents for her succession of unsuccessful marriages, which led to a series of psychological problems. During her first divorce, she says, my husband told the judge that every morning he saw my face, he felt nauseous, and often had to run to the bathroom and puke. She remembers painfully. Oh, come on. That's kind of sad, number one. But number two, you're going to blame the parents. Today's all about people blaming everybody else. It's not her fault that she won't fix herself up. It's not her fault she won't go on a diet. It's not her fault she doesn't get good men. That's her parents' fault. Wow. No, I'm not making this up. This is the story I found. Let's get more. My last husband was technically blind, but he regained 40% of his sight after a successful eye surgery. He divorced me the next week, she recalls. Is it because he was able to see, or was it maybe you were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs beforehand? Who comes up with these kind of things? And what lawyer would actually take this case? Holy moly. I mean, it's just getting worse and worse and worse out there. The 44-year-old plans on starting an association for people who have had similar problems and who wish to sue their ugly parents. She hopes to lobby the State Department in the near future, the State Department, to pass legislation on banning people who don't meet decent beauty or aesthetic criteria to be sterilized or not to be allowed to give birth, so as to prevent others from suffering as much as she did. Holy moly guacatole. That's crazy. Lindell said, let's see here. Thomas, Joy says, good Lord, she just wants attention. Tamara says, could it have been bad breath making him gag? Thomas says, absurdity. I thank God I grew up in the 50s when there was a semblance of normalcy. Today's society is so blanked up. Kathleen says, it's nobody's fault. She's just sick in the head. Carol says, who told her or confirmed to her she was ugly? This is sad, for real. I ain't no beauty queen, but geesh, I'm me. Lindell says her parents gave her life and loved her and provided for her. Sad she wants to sue them. Kathy says, I love people, the crazy ideas they come up with. T. Wayne, howdy, Rusty from Texas. Hello. John says, you could be the most beautiful woman in the world, but your attitude is what makes you ugly, and nobody will like you and want you around. That's so true. There are certain women that I have, when you first see them, oh my gosh, they're the most beautiful woman in the world, and then you spend 10 minutes with them, and there's just something that's just like, ew. And vice versa, where I've seen women that I didn't go, wow, she's smoking hot, until I got to know her, and then, wow. So yeah, I completely agree. Carol thinks it sounds like a scam, come to think of it. Okay. All right, there's another story that's in the news, and you can comment on that all you want. This story is about a lovely young lad. Oh, such a young, lovely young lad. He's 30 years old, and his parents have been trying to kick him out of the house, and he sued because he didn't want to go. And there was a thing on CNN earlier today where they had two lawyers, they go back and forth. And the liberal lawyer was saying, oh, this kid, it's not fair that the parents want to kick him out. He's only 30. And because he's only 30, they have a responsibility to that poor young boy. Young boy, the guy's 30. He's 30. My father, and I'm going to make a video of this. I'm going to try to make it before Memorial Day. My father, Gary D. Humphries, was killed in Vietnam at 24 years old. somehow in that amount of time. Got married, had 2 kids, dropped out of school and went to the military at 14. The story I heard is at 15, he was Soldier of the Month in Korea. And by the way, the Korean negotiations are not going well today, unfortunately. At 16, he saw his best friend. They were doing paratrooper school, and his best friend's parachute didn't open up. And he freaked out and went to the sergeant. I want to quit the Army. Boy, you can't quit. This is the Army. Oh, yeah, I'm 16. And they sent him home. And they said, if you finish high school, you can keep your rank. And he did, and he came back. And then somehow became an officer and a Cobra fighter pilot with Cobra helicopters. Those were the big badass, machine gun helicopters back in Vietnam. And somehow that guy did all of that by 24. Yet this guy can't leave his house at 30. Now, he says he can't find a job. Well, looking at you, I can see why. Cut your hair. Shave your face. You look like a ragamuffin. Rowley says at 30, I was the father of 3. Tamara says in 40 years, in his parents' last will, the house will go to him. Oh, I wouldn't give him a nickel. But let's take a listen to what he said. I haven't seen this interview. I guess CNN got him. He went to court and he lost. And a lot of liberals can't believe it. Can't believe he lost. I love it. Here we go.
It's my understanding you've lived, at your parents' house, rent-free for 8 years. And I know you do your own laundry,
30 years.
You buy your own food. But they asked you 5 times, please move out. Why couldn't you guys resolve this without the court?
I would consider much of what they were doing to try to get me out as a tax, and what I was trying to preserve. Trying to do what's best for me, which is just let's try to be a little more reasonable.
Okay, we're gonna stop. We're gonna vanilla ice for a second. We're gonna stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, float like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow to the extreme or rock a mic like a vandal. Light of the stage, wax chump like a candle. That guy's chump. Okay. Craig says, this is what happens when you do everything for your children. The trick is to have your kids do work around the house. Make them study for good grades. Making sure life's somewhat miserable, then says they can't wait to get out. You're right. This is sad, but this is what's being told. We've sissified, wussified, Oprahified, and Obamafied our children so much that they can't leave the house. And then it's our fault. I don't blame me. I blame the colleges for worrying more about... and here's the other thing. Kids know you can't do anything to them. You can't spank them. You can't yell at them. You can't put them on restriction. You can't take stuff away because then you're abusing them. Man, there is some abuse out there, and I understand it, and I've lived some myself. But we got to start saying enough's enough, or else we are going to have. We are already starting to see this, and I don't think this is going to be the last guy you see trying to pull this crap. Here we go.
I'll leave. I don't like living here.
Yeah, I'm going to go back. I want to see more. I'm going to start back.
Without the court.
I would consider much of what they were doing to try to get me out as a tax, and what I was trying to preserve. Trying to do what's best for me, which is just let's try to be a little more reasonable. I'll leave. I don't like living here, but I need reasonable time. And as an example of this, the first notice that I received, the February 2nd notice, was basically you have 14 days before you're outside in the winter weather. So the first thing I did when I got that was I
cried.
I made sure that wasn't going to happen. I contacted the police department. I said, is this something that's, that this could happen? And they're like, no, you just call us. That they can't do that. And I said, all right. And I was like, all right. And
I'm listening to you. I really am. But let me just understand, because I hear you on your parents giving you notices. The fact that you were on national television talking about moving out of your parents' house. You tell me you want to move out of your parents' house. Why don't you just move out of your parents' house, like tomorrow?
I don't have the means to do that tomorrow.
Okay.
So,
do you have a job?
No.
Deliver
Are you trying to get a
pizzas.
job? Because I read that one of the things your parents asked of you, there are jobs available even for those with a poor work history like you. Get one, you have to work. Are you working on that?
Dumbass.
I have plans to be able to provide myself with the income I need to support myself, but it's not something that's going to come together tomorrow.
Legal expenses aside and time spent in court, I'm sure you're irked. I'm sure your parents are irked, but you only have one mom and dad. And I understand that you are probably more upset than even you're letting on, but don't you want to reconcile with them?
No.
I want my mommy. I want my mommy. I don't want to reconcile because I can't mooch off them no more. I like mooching. Rolly says he could be a sperm donor or selling his weed. Please don't sell the sperm. Please. That's one thing we don't need is that guy selling sperm. Holy moly. Oi. Diane says, I don't think he's going to leave. Well, then the sheriffs are going to come and toss him out. But this whole thing, what does he think he's going to do when his landlord says, I'm kicking you out? Or he rents and they say, we're going to sell this house you're renting. Sorry. Well, I don't have, I can't. Well, it sucks for you. Mary says he needs to find a job, even if it's fast food or Starbucks. Would you hire that guy? Yeah. I need me a job. Okay. I understand. We are hiring. Qualifications? Well, I think we'd be good at this law firm. You would? Why do you think that? Well, I sued my parents on national TV. You sued your parents? Yeah, I didn't want to move out. I took them to court. I'm that guy. Uh-huh. Have you showered since then? Well, I think showering's kind of bad. I don't know. It just seems like it just gets in the way because you shower once and then 2 or 3 weeks later, you just got to do it again. So I don't know. Yeah. As the Godfather said, act like a man. Act like a man. Carol says he's the poster child for liberals. As much of a poster child for liberals as he is, I got another one for you. Got me another one. This is the woman that was one of the big speakers for the Pussy Hat Day. And she is all excited about this woman who is a Democrat. She's the first African-American that's gotten on the ballot to be a woman, to be a governor. But this woman is the woman she's supporting. She's another one that thinks government should the be all and end all. But I want you to take a listen to this victim. Here's another one. And listen to what she wants.
Have access to. So don't let them separate us by political ideology. This is not about ideology. This is about human rights. It's about dignity and respect for all people. So don't worry what they have to say about us now. we know that we are on the right side of history. And this year, we're going to show all the naysayers that said those were just a bunch of women with some pussy hats running around in these streets. We are a bunch of women with pussy hats, but we got a plan.
Classy.
And we about to work real hard. Classy. And we're going to win. And we're going to win big. And you know what the story is going to be?
What?
This year, the day after elections, women of the United States of America brought us to victory.
So men have nothing to do. You're just a bunch of victims
Stay
again.
loud, Georgia. Stay proud, Georgia. Stay united, Georgia. Stay together, Georgia. Stay working hard, Georgia. Make America proud like you have been for decades of a civil rights legacy that you have in this state. Make our ancestors proud because they are counting on you, and those who are most marginalized are counting on you. And I heard that our dear sister, and let me teach you how I organize. Why am I still fired up when I got some white supremacists who want to take me out? You know why? Because I'm a positive person. I put out positive energy. When I saw the sister
let's please stop. Please, I guess stop. She's a positive person? I'm a positive person. I got positive energy. I haven't heard what that word she said that's been positive. Not one. I'm sorry, I got a cold. I've been sick. I'll get back to that in a second. By the way, can I say thank you to the nice folks at Right Wing News? And say thank you to the nice people at Liberty One TV. I hope you'll go and check both them out. Support them, liberty1tv.com. And have you followed me on the Hear Me Out app? If you haven't, I'm disappointed in you. I could really, really use your support. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps feed my family. And all you have to do is download an app that's not going to cost you anything and communicate with me. It's fun. It's called Hear Me Out app. Download it right on your phone, smartphone, whether it's Apple or an Android. Go to where you get your apps, download the Hear Me Out app, and find and follow me, Rusty Humphries. And I would really appreciate it. Let's see here. Carol Sands says, "Oh, sorry you sick. Me too. Wah. I'm like a baby. Wah. I'm like this liberal woman. Wah. Crying all the time. Wah. I'm a victim. Wah. Wah." That's how I feel. I know, it's real attractive. Wah. Let's see here. No believing what I'm hearing. His generation needs to grow up and be reasonable for themselves. These women are nuts. Please share this, people, says Raleigh. Yes, share the video. Share the video. Share the video. Share it. If you share the video, you'll have good luck today or tomorrow. How do I know? I just know. I give you good lucks and blessings from the Lord. All right. Look at the men in the crowd. Notice how they're not cheering for or wonder if the anti-men feminazis are starting to show Democrat men exactly who they are. 10-4. Tamara got the Hear Me Out app. Tamara rocks. Bring your family and friends in here too, gang, says Carrot. Yep. Timothy says she's backed by Soros money. Yep, she is. Here, I'll let you hear a couple more minutes of this goofball. Here we go.
You know what I said to her?
What?
You know what I said when I first saw her? I said, "Good afternoon, Governor Abrams." Speak it into existence. Every morning when you wake up, imagine what it would be like in a state like Georgia to have your leader be a strong, unapologetic black woman. who comes.
By the way, I don't know if he still is, but for a long time, the mayor of Atlanta was Kasim Reed, a very strong, powerful black woman. Oh, that was a dude. Whatever. But the point is that it's not like, having a black official in Georgia is a big deal. Oh, it's earth-shattering. I mean, hey, they haven't had one in the governor's office? Great. But see, this is the problem. They only want to vote for her because she's a black woman, not because she knows what she's doing. That's the problem. It's like voting for me just because I'm as good looking as I am. I don't think you should. Vote for the person that's the most qualified. But they never see that because it's always about race and sex for these people.
From a legacy of resilience and pride, who will represent her ancestors who sacrificed everything for people like you to be able to stand here today and engage in your First Amendment.
Okay, can I ask one other question? And this is one of those ones that I probably shouldn't ask. I'm not a bad man. It's just a question. I just have the question. How many people is this woman who's up there doing the sign language? How many people is she speaking to? It is not 100 in that audience. There's not 100 people there. But as they always put them, it just seems like it's usually somebody that's looking to get more attention, and they're doing the sign language. And I'm glad there's somebody doing sign language. But why couldn't a sign language person be off the stage? Is that bad? Am I being a mean person? Is it because I'm sick? I'm a mean man? Anyway, I'm just asking a question. I didn't say it was bad. I'm just asking.
Protected rights. We speak of Governor Abrams in every corner of this country to inspire a generation to understand that this is the new face of democracy that we have needed for so long in these United States of America. So we're not just here to be fired up. We come here to ask you to join Stacey, to put Georgia on the map in the same way that your ancestors 50 years ago put Georgia on the map. We're asking you to make history, to knock on doors, to inspire more women of color who are told, you're not enough. You don't have enough. No one's going to vote for a black woman. You know what? Georgia's going to vote for a black woman. Georgia's going to make history.
I can't take anymore. I'm sorry, I can't take anymore. I get so sick of the victim mentality. I can only take it so much. Sometimes the victim mentality is funny. The ugly woman that wants to sue her parents. That's funny to me. The guy that sues his parents because they want to make him move out. That's funny to me. It makes me giggle. But this, we need to vote for her because she's a black woman and we need more black women. And okay. What is she going to do? What are her qualifications? Maybe she is the most qualified. I don't know from that speech. From that speech, the only thing I learned was she's a black woman and she needs to be the next governor of Georgia because Georgia needs a black woman as governor. That's not the qualification. It's just like when we got Sotomayor in the Supreme Court. We need to have a wise Latina woman. No, we need a wise person. It doesn't matter Latina or black or Hispanic or Asian or whatever. We need the best person for the job, not just because you were a wise Latina, as you call yourself, Sotomayor. Yeah, the woman in the pink just standing there was the one running. That is correct. All right. Like I said, we're having rolling blackouts here. And, enough's enough. I'm still trying to get over the cold. I will be better tomorrow, hopefully. Kara says, you can't ask what her qualifications are, Rusty. That's racist, don't you know? Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, follow me on the Hear Me Out app, would you please? And Trump's right, MS-13 are animals. What else is in the news? And I'm sick. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. May God bless you. May God bless America. See you next time. Make sure you watch me every night, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West, Monday through Thursday, unless I got something else going on. All right. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.